Hey there, my name's Dylan. Today we will be talking about the use of race and ethnicity in terms of advertising. A lot of you might not even notice that this is an issue. I know I didn't used to. That was until earlier in the semester. I was assigned a paper on the use of gender roles in advertising. The example I used pertained specifically to women and cleaning commercials. In 2019, these big name cleaning companies still adhere to the misconception that women are responsible for all of the cleaning done in the household. And we know this not to be the truth. But this led me to question what other stereotypical and ethical boundaries companies are willing to cross in order to profit. And that led me to racism. Now, there are a couple of different ways that companies go about doing this, and it's not always so in your face. The first example I'll be showing you today is one you've probably all seen. It's a commercial for Popeye's fried chicken. Now, I know what you're thinking. Maybe they just know their market. But it seems a little stereotypical to have an African American woman advertising fried chicken. As stated by Scott Coltrane and Melinda Messiano in The Perpetuation of Subtle Prejudice, these commercials and images contribute to the perpetuation of subtle prejudice against African Americans by exaggerating cultural differences. The woman in the ad speaks with a thick Southern accent, and she refers to you as honey. Now, near the end of the ad, they show the competitor deal. And in this case, the competitor is a white man, which only further perpetuates racial stereotypes that white people can't cook. Now, all in all, they drop a lot of subtle racism packed into a 30-second ad. And that's not the only one I'm going to discuss. Another example that most people probably remember happened about a year ago. Now, the popular clothing retailer H&M dropped an ad on their website that depicted a little black boy wearing a hooded sweatshirt, and on the sweatshirt it said, "Coolest monkey in the jungle." That's about as blatantly racist as it gets. There's not really any way to dance around that one. Now, those were some more obvious examples of racism in marketing, but it isn't always that clear. Sometimes it isn't the content of the ad that is racist, but in some cases it can be where they choose to market. And this is a concept known as demographics. The Michigan Law Journal outlines dozens of examples of racially biased demographic marketing. One that stood out to me comes from radio advertisers back in January of 1999. Back when people still listened to radio, 91% of advertisers had no urban/Spanish dictates. So in other words, they didn't want their ads played on Spanish or urban music stations. One such company that practiced this form of prejudice was a company that we all know, and that is BMW. The luxury car brand refused to advertise on urban stations in the New York metro area. This seems counterproductive as a company because the article states that at the time, 46% of people who owned or leased BMWs in the area were black. This advertising technique portrays the misuse of psychographics as well, as mentioned in the Larson text. They are making prejudice-based assumptions supported by the lifestyle and music preferences of these listeners without even knowing who they really are. Now, these prejudice and unethical practices don't seem to be above even some of the largest companies in America today. Let's take Facebook, for example. The USA Today reports that the social networking company was caught excluding users of certain ethnicities such as Africans, Latin Americans, and Asians from viewing housing ads. The practice of housing exclusion was made illegal by the Federal Fair Housing Act of 1968, so Facebook was directly in violation of this law. I don't know about you, but when I think of a company as big as Facebook, I would assume it was run by highly intelligent and mentally developed individuals. There is no excuse for this offensive and ignorant behavior. And in this example, Facebook is applying the concept of sociographics, be it in a completely inappropriate and disrespectful manner, by banning specific groups of people from viewing these housing advertisements based on their ethnicity. Now, today I have touched on just a few of the examples of how race can be used in advertising. Now I leave it up to you as the viewer of this video and as a consumer of thousands of ads per day to pay closer attention to what you're seeing. We can't keep allowing corporations like this to push out ads that display clearly racist messages or choose to advertise their products to only people of specific skin colors. As the consumer, the power truly lies in your hands. If you begin to notice this, you can stop giving them your business. And if we get enough people to do this and follow ethical business guidelines, we could put the people who think it's all right to act with such ignorance out of business. Thank you for watching.